Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss about superantigens. We have learned about antigens and I have put 3 videos on antigen itself. So those who want to clear about antigens can go to the video and see antigens. Here we will talk about superantigens. What are superantigens? They are the group of proteins, usually the microbial proteins. They can be from bacteria, they can be from viruses, small molecular weight proteins, but they can interact with immune system and cause massive activation of adaptive immune system. So it's not the normal one. They activate the immune system. Usually adaptive immune system is run by T cells or B cells. So they activate lot number of T cells and B cells, and which is not normal. When it is not normal, then it causes more problem than protection. So it's the we can also say superantigens are unconventional antigens which are recognized by immune receptors, not the normal ones. Those receptors which I have talked about, there are receptors on immune cells which are going to receive, whether it's T cell or B cells. It's like the adhesive pads which when antigen will enter, these receptors will bind to antigen. But in case of superantigens, when they are entering these conventional sites, these superantigens will not go and bind to conventional sites. They will go to unconventional sites, and they will trigger the immune system, and that trigger will be such that massive immune response will be caused. And when massive immune response is there, immune response is a response which is to protect our body, but this kind of massive response usually results in killing of cells itself. Apoptosis, then cytokine showers are there. These things happens. So this is the problem that superantigen causes. Now, if I'm not going into the history of superantigens, but the T cell superantigens were the one which was studied before than B cells. So what was found that they are the typical microbial proteins and they hyperstimulate T cells, while a normal antigen, when normal antigen enters, about 0.001% of T cells are activated. That is 0.001% of T cells are activated. While in case of super antigens, 30% of T cells are activated. There is a mechanism of activation, normal mechanism of activation of T cells, while when a normal antigen enters. But when super antigen enters, the activation has a different mechanism. When we will be reading the activation of T cells by an antigen, there we will discuss about superantigens also. Here in this video, I'm not going into the details of mechanism of activation by superantigens. What at presently I want my viewers to learn is that superantigens are the antigens which cause hyperactivation of immune response. One of the hyperactivation of adaptive immune response. So when we talk about adaptive immune response, T cells and B cells are the one which comes into, which have a major role. So when so superantigens, they can be divided into two types. That is T cell superantigens, the ones which are hyperstimulating T cells. And I have shown you the number. What is the number when they are stimulated by a normal antigen and when they are stimulated by superantigen? And anything which is more than required is a problem to the body. So when T cells response is such large in such large numbers, then what happens? Cytokine showers are there, more of the lymphocytes get activated, and it may result in apoptosis of the cell itself. Another type of superantigen are B cell superantigens, that is, which are causing hyperstimulation of large population of B cells. And these, what happens when large populations of B cells are there activated by superantigens, then these superantigens are not going and binding to complementarity determining regions, that is hypervariable region of immunoglobulins, where hypervariable regions are the regions where you will find epitopes, where you will find paratopes, because in case of immunoglobulins, paratopes are there and the epitopes of antigen bind the paratopes. But in case of superantigens, this is not happening. They are not going to these regions. What is the mechanism that we will deal when we will deal with the normal mechanism of B cell response to a normal antigens? So while dealing with normal antigens, we will talk about superantigens also. In this video, I'm talking about only the types of superantigens and how the B cells and T cells get overstimulated. Mechanism we are not talking. We will deal. I'm making short videos so that you can properly understand it. And as my channel name is Immunology and Medical Microbiology Simplified, so I'm trying to make them as simple as possible. So we will deal with single things at a time and try to understand properly. Now, the last slide here about superantigens is examples of superantigens. And this is the question which are mostly asked in form of MCQs in various exams. What are the examples of superantigens? One of them is Staphylococcus aureus enterotoxins. Enterotoxins, and even these enterotoxins are causing food poisoning in because of Staphylococcus aureus, and this also causes toxic shock syndrome, and these are called toxic shock syndrome toxins. Then it also causes multiple sclerosis. So these are the toxins which are like superantigens. And just to remind you that these this kind of toxins are also found in these are resembling the spike protein of SARS-CoV virus, which is causing the pandemic. So spike protein is resembling these enterotoxins of Staphylococcus aureus. This has a medicinal importance also. Vaccines can be developed on sequencing these. So these superantigens are medically important. And then group A Streptococcus pyogenes, that is pyogenic exotoxins, are also one of the examples. Then coming to this pyrogenic group also causes cirrhosis, rheumatic heart diseases. E. coli. E. coli is the one which is causing lot of stomach upsets, and the enterotoxigenic strains. These enterotoxigenic are superantigens. Mycobacterium tuberculosis also contain superantigens, which because of it we learn about lot of tuberculosis. Superantigens are present in Mycobacterium tuberculosis also. HIV also have NIF gene, and which codes for superantigens like spike protein. The same way as NIF genes, and we know HIV leads to AIDS. Epstein-Barr virus too have superantigen, and Epstein-Barr virus causes B cell lymphoma. SARS-CoV protein I have already discussed. This was all about superantigens. Thank you.